Hey Jeff, Canal, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me? He's presenting.
Cool, all right. So thanks for joining our developer webinar today. I'm Dion, I'm the technical lead here at Airtel, and I'm leading up the development team of the Talent App Store platform. Today's session, I'm going to go over the origins of Tazzy, the benefits it provides, and how to integrate your app with Tazzy. If you have any questions down the bottom right, there should be an option to raise your hand, so don't be shy if you have anything you want to ask. So if you've had a look through our documentation or you've set up an app in the Talent App Store before, you'll notice the term Tazzy comes up a few times. One of the key features of Talent App Store is the security mechanisms that are in place to ensure everyone's data is kept safe. So all requests from the Talent App Store apps to the core Talent App Store APIs, these are all HMAC signed, and what that allows us is to verify that these calls being made are actually from who they say they are. All the requests between apps or tenant APIs, they're all secured with OAuth. And all our user sessions are managed with SAML for single sign-on across all the platform. However, with the security comes complexity, and what we've heard from partner developers was that dealing with all of these moving pieces can be a little bit overwhelming for them. So we needed a way to simplify for our developers so they could focus on their attention on building their integrations while still maintaining our high levels of security standards. So Tazzy was born, and Tazzy is essentially a transparent network proxy, and it abstracts away a lot of the complexities involved when developing an app for the Talent App Store platform. So when your app's sitting behind Tazzy, Tazzy will handle all of the single sign-on process on your behalf. It'll intercept requests and redirecting unauthenticated users through to the IDP discovery page. So they can request them to sign in through their federation or Google or Facebook or whatever. It'll handle all SAML interactions, and they can only see what they should. When your app makes a request to the core Talent App Store APIs, Tazzy will intercept the requests, and it'll do the HMAC signing for you. And when your app makes tenant API calls to other apps, then Tazzy will handle all the OAuth process of requesting a token and then attaching it to the request, and also caching that token for later use. Another part of what Tazzy provides is automatic service discovery. And since Talent App Store isn't a traditional hub and spoke design, apps can talk peer-to-peer, there are a few calls to make to discover routes available to your app based on what apps a tenant has installed. So when you're using Tazzy, Tazzy will take responsibility for all of this. So when your app makes a tenant API call, it can simply make this call through Tazzy. Tazzy will handle all the heavy routing work and look up what apps the tenant has installed, what APIs those apps provide, and then automatically route the call based on that to the correct app. So what do you need to do to take advantage of Tazzy? First of all, you need to check all of your incoming traffic to your app. You need to check that it contains a header called Tazzy Secret, and this header will contain your app's HMAC secret, and you can find this defined in your app config of the Talent App Store developer site. You should reject any traffic that doesn't have this header and the correct value. For our development here, we use Java and Spring, so this acceptance or rejection is usually handled with an interceptor or a filter. Tazzy also set another header on incoming traffic, which is the Tazzy SAML header. This contains the encrypted assertions of the currently logged in user accessing the app. And you can pass this back to one of the Taz core APIs to unencrypt it, and this will give you access to all the user's details, their role, and those sorts of things. So that's the incoming traffic side of things sorted. Now you need to deal with the outgoing traffic, which is quite simple in that any outgoing calls to APIs you make need to include the Tazzy secret header yourself on the request, along with your HMAC value secret. Tazzy will check this is valid, and then route the traffic accordingly. So I'll just set up a bit of a screen share here. Cool, so here within the app we have the HMAC secret, which is the key that Tazzy will pass through to your app on all valid calls, and this is also the secret key that you should be passing back on any calls to Tazzy. And the other side of integrating with Tazzy is over here in this tab in the developer site. So any calls that you don't want to be protected by SSO and don't require authentication, you can add them in here as a list. There's a pattern in here for which you can check out there. It's the same pattern as usually. Public address, this is the address that clients will access your app through, and this will end up proxying through Tazzy and giving you all the niceties that you want. And then there's simply your backend server, which is where Tazzy will then forward traffic on for when it's talking to your application. And that's pretty much it when it comes to setting up Tazzy. There are some things that we're looking at doing. We're looking to make Tazzy available for users to self-host. And what this will give them is the traffic won't need to leave their own site if they're only using apps within their environment. And this is just a little bit more secure for them. Cool. So that's really about it when it comes to Tazzy. If there's any questions. No questions?